Hey guys, today is Thursday and I'm going to talk a little bit about the consequences of the election that took place on Tuesday on the US. Right now, actually, I was just watching that President Obama and President-elect Donald Trump will be meeting in a few hours, maybe minutes, in the White House, and I think it's interesting. I mean, of course, I was way off about the result. I thought Hillary Clinton was going to take not only Florida, which I think was safe. I thought I was safe. It was safe at the end, towards the election, but also the traditionally Democratic states of Michigan and Wisconsin and maybe Pennsylvania. I mean, I thought that Pennsylvania was safe, and actually, for a good chunk of the night, she was winning in Pennsylvania, and that would have made a really big change. And also winning Michigan would have, I mean, she could have lost Florida and won Michigan and Pennsylvania, and that way she would have won the election, but she didn't. She also lost an electoral vote in Maine. I think it was surprising that I was right about Nevada, that the Democrats took Nevada. I don't know if the outcome of the election will make Nevada Republican again in 4 years, because you know how things work. But yeah, I think it was a very interesting choice. And to talk about the consequences, I think the first one will be the fear in many people that think they are going to be deported, for example. And in that note, I think there are not only Mexicans and various people from various countries, but also Muslim immigrants too, and of course the Syrian refugees that were going to arrive to the U.S. because there's an agreement that the U.S. should take some of them, not many, but some of them. That's going to stop, or at least going to be diminished in a great way, I would say. And many countries have done things like that. And Hungary, they voted to restrict the number of refugees they can take. And of course, a country is perfectly able to do that. I mean, they should be able to do that because it's their country and they decide who gets in and who gets out. I mean, of course, the reasons are maybe xenophobic in some ways, but it's not always that, and you cannot say every person that, for example, voted for Trump is a racist, or every person that voted for Trump is an idiot, or something like that. That's not true. Many people that voted for Trump are, to be fair, white people that are afraid of the changes that their country is going through, and that they are afraid that their country is going in a way that they don't want to, in the economic sense of the word, because many people think that too many jobs have gone abroad and they want to get those jobs back, which is ridiculous because no one will get jobs back. I mean, I think new jobs are going to be created, and for example, Donald Trump said that he's going to build new roads, to rebuild actually roads, bridges, airports, seaports, everything that has to do with infrastructure. And to be fair, that's going to be a great way to create jobs, and that's something that presidents did back in the Depression, and it kind of worked. So why not? I mean, I think it's going to work this time. And to be honest, Donald Trump is a businessman. You can say he's a bad businessman, which is kind of true because he has filed for bankruptcy at least 3 times, I think, or 2 times. I'm not really sure. But the thing is that he's an entrepreneur. He's a businessman. He knows how to handle business things, and not only him, but his surroundings. I mean, the people he surrounds himself with. So I think that's pretty. It's pretty safe to say that the economy might, I'm not saying it's going to be better, but that it's going to go the way that people in the US that voted for Trump wanted to go. No jobs will come back from China. I don't think China is going to say, okay, let's send all the jobs back. That doesn't really make sense. And probably the US government will kind of block some new contracts between, for example, Chinese enterprises and U.S. enterprises in order to make things in China and not in the U.S. For example, I mean, Hollywood will be touched in that sense, but I don't think it will collapse everything in that side. Of course, there is, you have to acknowledge that there is a huge part of the electorate of Donald Trump that voted for him because of his views against some people. That is undeniable. I mean, after all, the KKK supported him, and the KKK, oh yes, there are not many people, but all the people that follow the KKK's beliefs will had probably voted for Trump. I mean, I think many of them didn't even vote because they don't even believe in the system, but I think that those who voted and supported KKK voted for Trump. And that's something you cannot deny, and then something that you have to watch and you have to be careful about. Because, for example, after the vote for Brexit in the UK, many xenophobic events took place. Many people took beatings. Some people were even killed, I think. So, I mean, people got crazy after it, and they yelled things at the street to people because they felt entitled to. And apparently, I was watching some posts on Twitter and on Tumblr, and apparently those things have already happened in the US. People have felt entitled because their candidate won, that to just yell anything to anyone, and that's just wrong. And I think that the US hadn't really realized this, but they are a divided country. If you see the final result, I mean almost final result because they have to count it again, the number of votes, but yeah, I mean, Clinton won in the popular vote, Trump won in the electoral college, and the number of votes for each candidate was not really that much that different. I mean, I think there's like 0.2% of difference, which is nothing. I mean, in terms of the people that vote, it's really nothing. And apparently less people voted this time than they voted in 2008 when it was Barack Obama against Mitt Romney, which says a lot. I mean, it's like 10 million less, which is, or more, which is really, really bad, which really says something bad about not democracy, but the whole process in the United States. Also important to say that all the millennials, which is young people, basically younger than 30 years old, apparently they all supported Hillary Clinton, apparently, but that didn't translate it in the vote. I would say that many Bernie Sanders supporters passed, like leaped towards voting for Gary Johnson from the Libertarians, who is an idiot. I mean, I have seen every single interview for the guy, and he's just the most stupid person I have ever seen. But whatever, I mean, the vote is respectable and everything, but you can't not argue that in key states such as New Hampshire or Pennsylvania or Michigan or Florida, if Gary Johnson had not been there and all the other candidates, Clinton would have won. And I think Gary Johnson took a good chunk, I mean, at least half of his votes came from former Bernie Sanders supporters and even some former Hillary Clinton supporters that didn't like her email scandal. Of course, something that people didn't understand was the fact that no matter what Trump said, he was going to keep his votes. I mean, he wasn't going to lose any votes because of what he said. And that's something that the polls thought that was the truth, and it ended up not being the truth at all. I mean, he did lose some support after the her by the scandal, but not enough to lose. And it was in front of our eyes the whole time. The fact that he was going to win Wisconsin and Michigan was not even in the Republicans' minds, and it happened because many people that no one was thinking about, that were ignored, and actually they voted for Trump because they felt ignored, went to the polling stations and voted for him, which was really surprising. I mean, it wasn't really surprising that he won Pennsylvania because it was a really tough race, and that he won Florida. That could have happened. I mean, it wasn't that amazing, but the fact that he won Wisconsin and Michigan was really the thing that said these people are really tired of Washington and the central government to forget about them. And I thought that was really important. That's something to take away from this election. It was the first time that the two states went red for, I mean, like 30 years or something. I mean, it had been a long time since those states had gone red, so, since Reagan or something. So it's really, really amazing, and you know, it says a lot about what people are thinking in the United States. It's a divided nation, and it has to be acknowledged as that. I mean, when things that happen in Ferguson, when things that happen in Flint, when things happened in all these other parts of the United States, not only, I mean, Flint was because of the water, but the other places were because Baltimore, because of the racial issues, people didn't acknowledge that the U.S. is a broken nation. It's fractured. When I say broken, I don't mean that you cannot pull back together again. You can. But the thing is that you have to realize you're broken first in order to mend that broken piece of country, if you will. So I think it's important that U.S. Americans realize that their country is in trouble, is divided, and that it will remain divided unless they are ready to make compromises and not to ignore the other one. I mean, I think it's nice that some people are protesting in front of Trump Tower, but that won't do anything because people voted. The fact that you voted different doesn't make that vote less, you know, real. So I think it's time to protest for other things. I think it's time to lobby for in these for the things that maybe Trump is not going to do, like climate change issues or like you know, civil rights issues. I think those people really need to get to work, with the new congressmen and congresswomen, you know, both the chamber and the Senate, and you know, the Congress in general. You have to start working with the new ones. You cannot stay behind and stay in the olden days of Barack Obama, because that's over. So Barack Obama has 2 more months, and that's it. He's out, and now it's Donald Trump for the next 4 years. And let's get real, he will be up for re-election on 2020, and it's not that insane that he would win again if things don't change in the United States. So people that want change, they need to get to work, and they need to acknowledge that their country is divided and their country is broken, and that they need to fix that first of all. So I think that's the most important thing, and these are my ideas of the consequences of the vote the last Tuesday. So yeah, we're going to see where President Trump leads the country, and leads part of the world, because it's the most powerful country in the world, and that cannot be denied. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much. Bye.